Welcome, sports fans, to MouthpieceSports.com's High School Roundtable. I'm Bob Lanigan, your host. And tonight we will tackle a variety of topics with a top-line cast. To my far right, my partner at MouthpieceSports.com, our executive producer, Mr. Mitch Robinson. The man in the middle tonight is Jeremy Crabtree, the executive national recruiter for Rivals.com. And to my right, a man whose name is on the tip of every high school football coach in Illinois. That would be Tim O'Halloran, AgiTim.com. Gentlemen, as I said, a variety of topics here from Giordano's Pizza at 223 West Jackson in downtown Chicago. The food has been terrific. Now let's get into the topic at hand, and recruiting is the sort of the meal du jour for us, for you guys at least, almost year-round. The season never ends anymore, does it, Tim?
No, it doesn't. And, you know, we've been known to delve in the recruiting field a little now and again. So I guess we're kind of two guys who can talk about it a little bit. But, Bob, first of all, great to be here. I know we certainly appreciate being here. And, you know, we're kind of the creations of the whole recruiting world and the .com, and Jeremy as well, along with myself. And been a lot of changes over the years, as you mentioned, everything from media coverage to really just the importance put on the recruiting with the coaches up and down the line from, I know, Jeremy's experience as well as myself. Thank God for that, because otherwise I probably wouldn't have a job right now. So it's been quite a transformation. And again, the biggest change, Bob, without a doubt, and I think Jeremy would agree, it never ends.
Yep.
The process just never ends. It's getting earlier and earlier and earlier for kids. And that is, Jeremy, I'm sure something you can talk about, a change that we've seen right off the bat.
Well, no question. When I first started 10 years ago, we got a month off in March.
Yeah.
We got an opportunity to take our breath and collect ourselves, but now people, coaches, fans, everybody wants lists earlier. Everybody wants to know who the top recruits are sooner and sooner, and it never ends. You don't get an opportunity to take a breath off, and we start our Rivals.com events before signing day are even over, so it's something that's just continued to escalate up and up and up, and I kind of like that. Like Edgy said, it's been a great opportunity to meet some wonderful people, and I don't see it ending. I think this is going to continue to become bigger and bigger, especially now that more mainstream media are starting to get into it. Everybody in the newspaper business, everybody in the sports talk radio wants to get involved with recruiting because they've seen it's blown up on the internet. They've seen the success of Rivals.com and other people out there, and they realize, hey, it's an opportunity to find something that nobody else offers.
I don't know about you guys, but, you know, with my twin 4-year-olds, you know, I'm already doing 40 times, stretching their legs, putting Hannah Montana at the other end of the room. You know, I'm ready. I need scholarship money. That's what I need.
Well, Mitch has touched on something here that's legitimate in a joking way. You can't start the kids too early, and because of services like Rivals.com and AgiTim and all of the vehicles out there, how do parents get their children involved, get their young athletes exposed and enlisted on these vital sites?
Well, I think the first thing that needs to be pointed out, if you're a legitimate college prospect, coaches will find you.
Yeah, you'll be there.
You'll get noticed because there's so much big money involved with these schools with their recruiting budgets. They'll find you. You could be in the middle of nowhere, Illinois, and they will find you if you were a player. However, if you want to expedite the process, there's a lot of different camps out there. There's specialized camps, whether it's Nike training camps, Nike combines. There's combines all over the place. There's specialized training services now for athletes that want to run better 40-yard dashes. There's a lot of different vehicles out there. If you want to become a star football player, you can find an opportunity to get better and become a better athlete also.
You're alluding to something else that I wanted to touch on, because Tim had an event in March out in the Chicago suburbs for high school football juniors.
Yeah, we have it's a junior day event. We called it a 5-star academy this year at Rivals.com. I've been putting one on for the last 8 years, and again, it's an information session for parents, and parents in particular, guys. You talk about the recruiting process. You know what? Parents are probably more lost than the kids are. The kids have an idea. The parents really, from an educational standpoint, really do not have any idea what does mail mean, what do phone calls mean, what do contact mean. Part of the reason, Bob, for having that event is to try to help educate. It's something that we obviously work closely with every day, and we have to give back. I mean, we have to try to help educate parents and players as best we can, and that's another vehicle that we offer players, prospects. Give us your video. It's a great chance to actually meet these kids, to eyeball them up a little bit and hopefully educate them and the parents in return. So it's an event that's a win-win for us. And again, as we mentioned, it's another vehicle to hopefully get some notice and some attention to help people out in the process.
And there's money out there from schools that aren't just in the Big Ten and the Big 12 and the ACC and the Big East. There's scholarships to be had on many different levels.
Well, and that's really, Jeremy comes from more of a national angle, and being an Illinois guy and a Chicagoland guy, I come from more of the local angle. And one of the first things I tell kids is when it comes to your recruiting, you have to have a plan. You have to, and set goals. If it's to play college football, great. If it's to run out of the tunnel at Notre Dame, guess what? 99.9% of you, it's not going to happen. So have a plan. Have an idea of what you want to do. Be open. Treat the D3 schools as you would treat a D1 school. Treat them all the same. That's just some of the information that we try to teach people at this junior day that we have every year, and really lessons that kids need to learn, and a lot of kids and parents just don't know how to handle that end of the process. But yes, the money is out there if you look and know how to go out and find it.
How soon do we start evaluating high school athletes?
Well, I know from college coaches, because of the rules, NCAA rules, they can look at them and watch them as freshmen, sophomores, and they're out there, but they can't make actual contact with them until the first day of their junior seasons. But there's camps. They have college camps every summer where they bring their kids out there, 400, 500 kids. They don't sing Kumbaya or toast s'mores. They're out there testing these kids. They're out there testing these kids, trying to find out what type of athletic ability they have. And sometimes that evaluation process starts earlier. But there's certain limitations. It's not like basketball. Basketball, you can start looking at kids up into 8th grade and sending them letters and things like that. There's just different rules from football to basketball. But football, it's a little more specialized. But if you want to get some exposure, get to as many summer camps as you can.
Tim, how often does that list rotate too? Because I know the top sophomores in Illinois. I know there's a list. How often do these kids move up and down that list? Was Garrett Goebel the #1 recruit in Illinois 2 years ago?
No, actually he wasn't. And my rule of thumb since I've been publishing my website, I will not list or even look at a kid unless he plays in the varsity level. I could, because it's a handful enough just dealing with kids that are on the varsity level. I mean, I would love to rank the top 50 8th graders in this Chicagoland, but Bob, I'm not the guy that's going to do that. You have to set limits. And as Jeremy mentioned, physically, it's a whole different world from 8th grade freshman year from a football perspective than it is from sophomore to junior year. You have to be able to show that ability, I feel, from my rankings on the varsity level before I'll even look at a player.
Have we come to the point where we're doing bone scans?
No.
Not yet.
Not yet. It hasn't gotten to that point, but again, I'm someone, I know Jeremy's, obviously have known him for a long time and see his work and his evaluations. I take it pretty seriously. Sure. I don't list a kid that I don't see, and I won't rank a kid that I don't see, either in person or on videotape. Now, fortunately, this time of year, we're in the spring. We're coming around to the big May evaluation period. It's something that's an ongoing process constantly. I mean, we talked about how much earlier this process is going. I got a call the first week of September from a college coach wanting to know who my top 50 juniors were in the state of Illinois. Well, we played one game in the season. Sure. A lot of these kids have played their first ball game, so it just gives you an idea of just how this is progressing and getting earlier and earlier and earlier. And we're doing stuff. I'm doing stuff now. From a time standpoint, I would have never thought about doing 4 or 5 years ago because of that.
We have gotten to the point where they are drug testing high school athletes, and we will tackle that subject from Giordano's Pizza here at 223 West Jackson in a moment.